Come on, John, you know better, man. You know better. It's a violation of Rodriguez versus United States, pulling two cars over at the same time. It's a Fourth Amendment violation outside your jurisdiction under color of law, man.
BZ Watchdog News Network.
On June 1st, 2026 at 4:39 p.m., I received a text message that said, Hubbard PD is sitting in the middle of highway just before the exit to Hubbard. So let's stop right there. A citizen sees Hubbard police sitting out on Highway 31 outside the city limits, apparently running traffic, and immediately alerts me. Why? Because people are starting to pay attention. People are starting to document. People are starting to understand that government only behaves when citizens are watching. I responded that I was already in Hubbard, and shortly after that, I came up on exactly what I've been told about. There he was, Captain John Bales with the Hubbard Police Department sitting out on Highway 31 with not one, but two vehicles pulled over. And I know this may be confusing to some of the government cheerleaders, but Highway 31, just before the Hubbard exit, is not automatically the personal playground of the Hubbard Police Department. City police departments have jurisdiction. They have boundaries. They have legal authority that is supposed to mean something. But apparently, in Hubbard, they think a badge and a ticket book magically expand the city limits. When I arrived, Captain John Bales was getting back into his vehicle, apparently preparing to write both tickets. So I did what any local activist, independent journalists, and concerned citizens should do. I recorded the stop, documented what was happening, and spoke with both drivers. I told them who I was. I told them I was a local activist. I told them I was recording the traffic stop for their safety and for evidence. And I told them that, in my opinion, Hubbard Police had no business sitting out here writing tickets outside the Hubbard city limits. And now we have the ticket, citation number 32953, issued by the Hubbard Police Department, written on June 1st, 2026 at 5:01 p.m. The citation was issued to Sherri Ann Atkins for allegedly driving 85 and a 70, listed as speeding 10% or over. And where does that ticket say this happened? Westbound Texas Highway 31 east of FM 936 in Hill County. Not inside Hubbard city limits, not on a Hubbard city street, not in a Hubbard neighborhood, not in front of City Hall. Westbound Highway 31 east of FM 936. So here's the question everyone should be asking. What authority did Captain John Bales and the Hubbard Police Department have to be out there writing tickets? Was there an interlocal agreement? Was there a lawful request for assistance? Was this actually inside their jurisdiction? Was Captain Bales acting under proper legal authority, or was Hubbard Police Department using Highway 31 like a revenue-generating fishing hole?
Son, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy?
Because the ticket does not raise eyebrows. It raises serious questions. The citation says it was issued by John Bales, ID number 511. It directs the driver to contact Judge Shannon Skilling at 118 North Magnolia in Hubbard, Texas. It gives a court date of on or before June 15, 2026. So let me understand this. A Hubbard officer allegedly writes a ticket out on Highway 31 east of FM 936 outside the city limits and then sends the citizen back to Hubbard Municipal Court like everything is perfectly normal. And we're all just supposed to clap like trained seals and say, thank you for your service? No, that is not accountability. That is not transparency. And that is not how jurisdiction is supposed to work. This is exactly why citizens need to record. This is exactly why people need to send tips. This is exactly why the public needs to document what these departments are doing when they think nobody's paying attention. Because most people get pulled over, handed a ticket, and just pay it. They do not ask whether the officer had authority. They do not ask whether the stop was inside the city limits. They do not ask whether the municipal court has jurisdiction. They do not ask whether the citation can be challenged. They just pay the fine because they're intimidated, confused, or do not know their rights. And that is exactly what bad government depends on. Now, of course, The bootlickers will start crying. Why were you recording? Why are you bothering the officer? Why don't you just leave the police alone? No. The real question is, why was Hubbard Police Department sitting in the middle of Highway 31 just before the exit to Hubbard? Why were there 2 cars pulled over? Why was Captain John Bales writing tickets out there? And why does the citation list a location that appears to be outside the Hubbard city limits? The camera did not create this problem. The text message did not create this problem. The citizen who alerted me did not create this problem. I did not create this problem. Captain John Bales and the Hubbard Police Department created these questions when they went out there and started writing tickets. And now the public deserves answers. If Hubbard Police had lawful authority to be there, then they should have no problem producing it. Show the interlocal agreement. Show the request for assistance. Show the jurisdictional authority. Show the legal basis for why a Hubbard police officer was issuing citations on Highway 31 east of FM 936. But if they can't explain it, then those tickets need to be challenged. Those citizens deserve answers, and Hubbard officials need to be held accountable. Because this is not just about one traffic ticket. This is about jurisdiction. This is about abuse of authority. This is about whether small town police departments think they can step outside their boundaries and use citizens as walking ATMs. And most importantly, this is about citizens finally paying attention. The public saw it. The public texted me. I showed up. I recorded it. I spoke to the drivers. And now we have the citation to prove exactly what happened. So to Hubbard officials and their bootlicking fan club, here's the message. Citizens are watching. Citizens are documenting. Citizens are asking questions. And if your department is operating outside the law, the camera is going to expose it. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Are you guys okay? Semper Fi, Marine. I'm a Marine as well, but I'm also keeping these guys on their feet because they don't belong out here. Accident? Or they writing you a ticket? Fight it. They don't have jurisdiction right here.
Okay.
Were you on the highway, coming down the highway? They don't have any jurisdiction.
Okay.
Their jurisdiction's in the city, not on the highway. That's why I just got a message to come out here.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, fight it. Because the thing is, if they write you a ticket here, it's got to go to the JP court, not the city court. And that's what they're trying to do, is funnel the money to the city court.
Okay.
It's a racket. I've been on them for a while.
Gotcha.
So I am so glad I caught this. The chief of police knows better. This guy, I've already had a run-in with this guy. First time I ever met him, he had a problem with it. So, and you guys might want to just, well, no, I think he can go around you. It's fine. I think this car can go around. He's fine. But fight the ticket, because they don't have any jurisdiction out here on the highway. What's that? Just plead not guilty. Tell them. And if you want to look me up on Facebook or YouTube, it's BZ Watchdog. I'm a devil dog as well, man. And I'll tell you right now, if you reach out to me, I hope you write your motions and get rid of this and squash it. BZ Watchdog.
Okay, I got it. My name's Daryl, man.
What is it?
Daryl.
Daryl?
Daryl Atkins.
Basil.
All right.
But BZ Watchdog, and I've been trying to expose these guys because it's extortion. The only people that have authorization out here is the county and the state. They don't have an interlocal agreement signed with the county. If they did, then we give them access to be out here, but they don't.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. You too. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, yeah, because they shouldn't be blocking your driveway. But what Mr. Bales is doing outside his jurisdiction is writing tickets to 2 different cars outside his jurisdiction. He shouldn't even be out here. The state and the county should be out here, not the city PD. I've been trying to catch these crooks. Hubbard's the biggest crooks. That's why we're outside the city limits. I live outside city limits.
Like me.
Yes, ma'am. You're smart. That way, you only call the county when you need to deal with them.
Right. And I'm gonna wait till they go totally down.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. He's writing you a bad ticket. He can't be writing tickets on the highway. Fight it in court. He should know better. He's about 2 miles outside his jurisdiction. And trust me, he's the dirty cop. I know about him. He'll probably call for backup. He's scared of cameras. He don't like cameras. Smartest thing you can do is when he comes back up to you, have your camera on rolling. Ask him why you got the ticket. Ask him if he's state. Ask him if he's county. Ask him why he's on the highway. Ask him the questions. His name is John Bales. Married to Darla Bales. I know exactly who he is. His kid's also a cop on the PD. They're all garbage. They're all corrupt. Yeah, so make sure when he comes, record it. Put it on the phone and record. Well, he's violating your rights, stopping you longer than it takes to write you. Pulling 2 cars over, he can't do that. So what he's done here is pulled over 2 cars. Now you're still gonna have to sign the ticket, but go to court. Not guilty. Come on, John, you know better, man. You know better. It's a violation of Rodriguez versus United States, pulling 2 cars over at the same time. It's a 4th Amendment violation outside your jurisdiction under color of law, man. Also a violation of your 4th Amendment rights because he's acting outside the color of law, outside his jurisdiction. Not to mention he delayed your traffic stop to write someone else a ticket.
Well, he got us both at the same time.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
You're only supposed to be detained as long as possible to write a ticket, but he's doing it also outside his jurisdiction.
Okay.
He's got no grounds. If you take down my number, I'll give you my number, dude. We'll talk about it. I go by BZ Watchdog on Facebook, but it's Basil, B-A-S-I-L. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Trust me, you watch one of my videos, you see him. He's a star.
Okay.
I was just yelling at him about violating people's rights when he's walking up to your car, so I gave him a mouthful. He don't care. He's gonna tell you to make sure you show up, but guess what? The court only has jurisdiction inside city limits. So if you wrote it to Hubbard, let me see your ticket. I bet you with Hubbard Municipal Court. If it's Hubbard Municipal Court, because technically your traffic stop's over because he gave you the ticket. So Hubbard Police Department, here. He wrote it to Hubbard. And that's the same judge as the JP. So when you say he don't got no jurisdiction in your court, this was supposed to go to JP if he was acting within his interlocal agreement. Like I said, I'll help you write up motions and stuff. That'll get dropped.
Appreciate it, man.
This is just road piracy, man. That's all it is.
Okay.
He needs to get his ass back over to town.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. You guys drive off. You guys are good, okay? Here, you got a pen? I'll give you my name and number. I'll help you fight that ticket. He has no jurisdiction on the highway. Let me know when you're ready. My name's Basil, B-A-S-I-L. Basilio. Habla español, ¿sí? Okay.
So let's recap what happened here. On June 1st, 2026, I received a text message from a citizen alerting me that Hubbard PD was sitting out on the highway near the exit to Hubbard. I was already in the area, so I went to see what was going on for myself. And what did I find? Captain John Bales with the Hubbard PD outside Hubbard city limits with 2 vehicles pulled over at the same time. Not 1, but 2. Then we later saw the actual citation. Citation number 32953 issued by John Bales to Sherri Ann Atkins for allegedly going 85 at a 70. The ticket says the location was westbound Highway 31, east of FM 936 in Hill County. That is the problem. Because if this was outside Hubbard city limits, then the public deserves to know exactly what legal authority Hubbard PD had to be out there writing tickets. Was there an interlocal agreement? Was there a request for assistance? Was Captain Bales acting under county authority? Was this supposed to go to the JP court instead of Hubbard Municipal Court? Or was this just another example of small town ticket writing where citizens are expected to shut up, sign the citation, and pay the fine without asking questions? Because I did ask questions. I told the drivers to record. I told them to fight the tickets. I told them to plead not guilty if they chose to challenge it. I told them to ask why a Hubbard city officer was operating on the highway outside the city limits. I told them to question the jurisdiction. And yes, I told Captain Bales directly that he knew better. Because this is not just about speeding. This is not just about one ticket. This is about jurisdiction. This is about the Fourth Amendment. This is about whether an officer can detain 2 vehicles at the same time, delay one stop while handling another, and then issue tickets outside the city limits under color of law. And to every bootlicker who wants to cry about me recording, let me make this very simple. The camera did not pull those cars over. The camera did not write that ticket. The camera did not create the jurisdiction issue. The camera exposed it. A citizen saw something wrong and sent me a message. I showed up, I recorded, I spoke to the drivers, I documented the citation. And now the public can see the pattern for themselves. This is why citizens need to record. This is why citizens need to ask questions. This is why citizens need to stop being intimidated by badges, uniforms, courts, and ticket books. Because government does not get to operate in the dark and then get offended when the public shines a light on it. So here's my message to Hubbard PD, Captain John Bales, Chief Jason Patrick, Hubbard City Hall, and every government cheerleader who thinks citizens should just obey and never question anything. We are watching. We are documenting. We are asking for the legal authority. And if you are operating outside the law, outside your jurisdiction, or outside the Constitution, the camera is going to expose it. This is not harassment. This is accountability. This is not anti-police. This is pro-Constitution. This is not about hating law enforcement. This is about making sure law enforcement follows the law too. Because no badge, no title, no city court, and no ticket book gives anyone permission to violate the rights of the people. And as always, sunlight is the best disinfectant. I'm BZ for BZ Watchdog News Network, and I'll see you in the next video.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
BZ Watchdog News Network.